Hello guys, it's Stephen here back with another video. This is the second part of the Q&A that I promised. After the first half, which was a bit more fun according to Nicola who's just sat over there, basically it was a bit more personal, we had a chat and all that kind of stuff. This one is a lot more football orientated because there was absolutely loads of questions and I want to go through quite a few of them because there's some very interesting talking points. I know we've got the Wigan games tomorrow, but I really wanted to make this Q&A as I had been promising it. So I think the best thing to do really is just crack on. Obviously I can't answer all the questions, there was like hundreds of them. So the best I'll do is about another 25, 30 today. So if you haven't already seen the first part, go and click that there. And the first question comes from Ansh Luther. I got my phone here, by the way, and sorry if I pronounce your names wrong. I'm really bad at this kind of thing. But Ansh said, now that the league is pretty much done and dusted, do you think KDB and Aguero should be rested or should they be played to break more individual records? Well, I think in general, some games they will be rested. I'm not sure the league is done yet, and I think we'll keep playing our relatively full-strength team until the league is actually done. But I think after it's done, we'll see one or two players rested. We'll see some young players get games, and that's probably rightfully so. I mean, you've got to keep the players sharp, though. You can't like send them off on a 2 or 3 week holiday, and we've got big competition games coming up. This is kind of hold, like, you got to play off the benefits of them resting against some benefits of losing sharpness. I think in general Guardiola will not want to see a massive dip in league form because he knows that's a sudden kind of run of negative results in the Premier League, even if they don't mean anything, can also affect the performances of the players. He'll want them to be absolutely 100% focused, and I suspect we'll find a balance between very strong games where we name more or less a full 11 and some games where we maybe switch out 2 or 3 players. And the real David Barry, hello real David Barry, said, do you have a day job? Well, of course I do. I wish this was my full-time job, but it isn't. I do social media for a retailer, which basically involves tweeting, Facebook and Instagram, all that kind of stuff. Doing the unimportant stuff does. Basically, it's a little boy's job for an adult, basically. I should be doing something a lot more important, but I get paid to do it, so I'm not going to complain. Max P said, who do you want and think will replace Guardiola once he leaves in a few years? That day terrifies me because there's no one like Guardiola. He's simply a man with a vision that's more or less unrivaled in world football. An absolute genius. And the hardest thing for us is going to be replacing someone with that kind of influence over plays. That status and obviously the way he plays, it's almost iconic. But the closest to me has to be Sarri at Napoli. He's doing sensational things. And stylistically, there's obviously vast similarities. There's loads of mutual respect between Guardiola and Sarri. They love each other, they love how they play football, which I'm sure would also rub off on City players. City have obviously played them twice this season, they appreciate how good they are as a team, so I'm sure the likes of De Bruyne and Silva and so on, or whoever's still there at the time, appreciate how good he is as a coach, and maybe someone like him. I can't really see anyone else who plays that a very similar way to Guardiola that could fit in and do the same job. Sarri for me makes a lot of sense personally. Romo fam said, should we play youngsters if we win the league with matches left? Well, I've just discussed it in a previous question. I'm almost certain we will play a few young lads. I wouldn't mind seeing a few debuts being made, even though it is kind of tokenism. It also kind of sets up nicely for next season, giving the chance to give these young lads a taste of first team football. Maybe see how 1 or 2 react in that kind of scenario. I don't think there'll be loads of them, being totally honest, but I see the likes of Brahim, Foden, maybe Nature get a few games definitely, because it'd be good for them to get a Premier League winners medal for one. It'd be so nice to be able to see these young lads that have been in the club for a long time, especially people like Foden, who's a City fan, pick up a Premier League winners medal for the team at 17 years old. That would be phenomenal, wouldn't it? Joe Basto said, how do we improve in the summer? Well, Joe, I've made a big video on that already. Go watch it. It's here. It's City's Dream Summer 11 transfers. Go and watch that and answer all your questions there for you. And he said, alternatively, if it wasn't YouTube, what would you want to do for a living? Well, I guess it was my band stuff. I was pretty good at that at one point, but that sadly faded. But I'd take YouTube. That'd be quite nice. So that's why I pushed the Patreon, by the way, because it'd be nice to be able to do this full time, because YouTube doesn't pay that much unless you're absolutely huge. So fingers crossed I'll get there one day. The Ghost said, do you think Tosin will get much game time because he looks great every single time he plays? I think it's going to be very, very difficult for him. Now we've got Laporte and Stone's obviously very young. I suspect we'll look at maybe even bringing another centre back in one day when Vincent Kompany goes. I can't see him getting loads of game time. If I was him, and I think he will, I think I'd go on loan next season. I think he was allowed to go on loan in January transfer window, but they couldn't find anyone suitable for him. Tosin is a very good young player, and I do start to think he was looking more and more comfortable with every single game. But I just can't see him getting the game time he needs to develop. I think a loan next season somewhere, hopefully as a first team starter, whoever he goes to regularly, will do him the world of good. He'll either elevate him very quickly, or we'll just see if he's not quite got the ability or potential to get there at Manchester City. But I definitely think he needs game time. I don't think he'll be at City next season though. Khalid Al-Madani said, how did you feel when Sanchez moved to the United? I wasn't that bothered, and that's my general honest truth. My general theory at the time was that he was an expensive kind of a punt of a signing for United. I felt like they were in for him because we were in for him. He's obviously a quality player, but it didn't strike me something they actually needed. It felt like they were just throwing money at a problem that wasn't necessarily there. Sanchez is a fantastic little player, don't get me wrong. He would have been an icing for us on a very sweet cake. But United, it's not that they actually do... they need at the moment. They need someone to help them control midfield alongside Pogba. They need that balance and that shape. And to me, it feels like just throwing things at the wall to see if any of it will stick. Sanchez is fantastic, but I'm not surprised at all that United aren't in great form at the moment, even though they've signed him, because it's all very well signing loads of players, but you need a shape, you need identity, you need a plan. And it doesn't strike me that United have a plan other than buying lots of very expensive players at the moment. They won't like to hear that, but that's just my personal opinion. I think the shape and the style tactically for them is lacking quite a bit. Don't get me wrong, Mourinho's a very good manager and they've got a lot of very good players, but the football they're playing, it isn't good enough for the money that they're spending. They're second in the league at the moment, and fair play, but I think they've been very underwhelming, and that's even coming from someone trying to be neutral here. I just don't think United are good enough, even regardless of what we've done so far. I think they need to be a level higher than they currently are, given the players that they've got. And Sanchez, to me, he's a very good player, but they need to work out how to use him. Now they've got a situation where they're playing Martial or Rashford rarely, or Martial out of position to accommodate Sanchez, and it's just kind of making him less effective. You need to plug the right holes, not just add more cement around a hole that doesn't need plugging in the first place. Sinclair Comrie said, do you like any other sports? I don't watch any anymore because I just don't have the time, if I'm being honest. When I was young, I'd watch absolutely anything, be it golf, tennis, cricket, snooker, F1, basketball, anything. When I was younger, I used to watch all kinds of sports, but now I just haven't got the time, if I'm being honest. I just watch a bit of football, see my girlfriend, live life, and just kind of get on with stuff. So yeah, I do like other sports. I just don't really watch them because I think as you get older, you realise there ain't enough time for it, if I'm being totally honest, especially when you want to create videos more or less every night. Reese Rozansky said, on average, how many times do you mention Patreon support per video? 6.7 would be my guess. I get the cynicism there. I mentioned it twice. Once at the start of the video, giving the shout outs that people deserve because they put money in to get the shout outs and so on, and then at the end board at the end. If you don't like Patreon, fair enough, but to me it's a lifesaver. I want to make videos every single day. I put a lot of time into it, hours a night doing this, and get basically nothing back until Patreon, until I decided to start doing Patreon. It's great because I think people who make essentially free short TV shows every day, that's what I do every night. I make little 10-minute videos that people watch and look out for. And I think in general, given the hours I spend putting into it, I deserve a little bit of something back. If you don't like it, that's fair enough. And YouTube continues to be free for basically anyone. You don't have to get involved. But if you don't like Patreon, that's your problem, if I'm being honest. I like it. I think I earn the money that I get from people. If they ever want to cancel it or not pay, that's also entirely their situation. I appreciate the support that I get from people on Patreon. Absolutely loads. Seriously, it makes my life so much easier. It's just great. It means I can buy a fancy new camera. It means I can get tickets for games. It's just so much easier to keep on doing this. And the amount of times I've nearly just stopped making videos because I haven't got the time or the energy or even the money sometimes. But this just helps a little bit. And it means I keep making videos because I know these guys here who are pledging to my Patreon. I know it means something to them. And I know they want me to keep making videos. So I carry on doing that. And that's why I carry on making videos too, Reese, because people are willing to support me. And it's really, really useful. It keeps you going. And thank you very much to everyone who does. And Go City said, how much do you think De Bruyne is worth if we were forced to sell him? A world record fee, in my opinion. He's currently maybe in the top 4 or 5 players in world football. He's up there as the best midfielder in world football, in my personal opinion. He's the best player in the league, in my personal opinion. I think he's getting better. I'd want the same as Neymar got. That's my personal opinion. I think he's worth more than Coutinho. I'd want over 200 million because he's a phenomenal footballer, Kevin De Bruyne. He's only going to get better. You might disagree, but I think KDB is worth every single penny. Next question from TGMCFC is such a difficult one to answer. In a perfect world where Foden and Diaz became world beaters, which one would you most likely to see at City? That's really hard because Brahim is a favourite of mine because I've been watching him play for a long time ago. And he's a bit of a... He just makes me laugh with his style. I love his direct energy. He's a lovely lad. I know his family quite well. I've chatted to him at games. They're all absolutely adorable, nice people. I've got this really... a massive affection for Brahim because he's a fantastic little player and I really want to see him succeed at City because I love his energy, I love his work rate, I love his desire. But Phil Foden, he's been at Manchester City since he was 8 years old. He's a City fan, he's from Stockport. It's just too good. It's a perfect story, and given his style, given the fact that he obviously cares about his club, I'm not saying Brahim doesn't, but Brahim hasn't been here all his life like Foden has. It has to be Phil Foden just because he's a local lad come good, and that would be absolutely brilliant story for the academy. Sorry Brahim. I mean, I want them both to succeed, but it has to be Foden if I had to choose one. And that's if you had like a knife to my throat and all that kind of stuff, it'd be Phil Foden. Killbean Gamer said, your favourite player ever growing up, and doesn't have to be City player. Well, as a City For City, it was Kikladi at one point, and then it was Sean Wright-Phillips. But other than City, various players, I was obsessed with the real Ronaldo. I thought he was absolutely phenomenal. I loved his power and his elegance. He was just a phenomenal footballer. If he hadn't had all those injuries, in my opinion, we'd be talking about him alongside Messi. I think he was that good. I think he was a fantastic footballer. Just had a cruel twist of fate with his injuries and bad knees or whatever it was. And then, close to home, I thought Arsenal's team with Henry and Bergkamp was just special. Those two players were a joy to watch. I love watching that team with Perez and Ljungberg and Vieira in their prime. They were just so good to watch play. Obviously, they destroyed us a few times, but it was worth watching just because they were so entertaining. I love watching attacking teams that play with such vibrancy, such creativity, such moments of brilliance. And Perez and Ljungberg and Henry and Bergkamp, they did that. So I love watching that team. And then I love Zola. Gianfranco Zola was absolute quality. People like him, just great footballers. And Zinedine Zidane is also one of my favourite all-time footballers. It's just the elegance in the way he plays. He just makes the game look so easy. I really want to see that video where I think there's a film someone made. Zidane set to Mogwai, the post-rock band, because that would be fantastic. I've never seen it, but I'm sure it's pure artistry. But those players, all those were basically my favourites. James B said, can you play a song on the guitar? Yeah, just hang on a second. I don't even know if this is in tune or not, but this is, see if anyone can get this song in the comments. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. Just there you go, James. There's a song for you. An exclusive on this channel. I don't know what I've just done. I probably regret it immediately, but it's happened. So let me know what song that was in the comments, because why not? It was an easy one, if I'm being totally honest. Dark Side Army asked the most glorious question ever: a guard of honour or win the league at United? Either of those circumstances are absolutely beautiful, aren't they? I'm tempted to say winning the league just because the ecstasy, the glory of watching United realise that we've just won the league, seeing the players run around the pitch and going absolutely mad. United on the pitch still, that would be fantastic, seeing Jose's face looking devastated. But at the same time, if Jose and the likes of Pogba and Lukaku and all that lot have to give us a guard of honour at the Etihad because we've already won the league, we're champions. Oh, that would hurt him so much, wouldn't it? It'd be beautiful to witness. Either or are a dream scenario, let's be honest. There's no bad answer in that one. So I'll probably just say winning it against United, because it'll be even more sweeter, but they're pretty good circumstances either way. Lucas Markovic said, and I'm sure he's not related to Lazar Markovic, maybe he is. Hello, Lucas, if so. Said, who would you say is the most promising Manchester City player who hasn't yet debuted for the first team? Well, given all the ones out on loan probably have already played for City, like Angelino, Maffeo, and Manu Garcia, and so on, and Nemanja already played, and Foden and Brahim. Probably someone like maybe Matt Smith, maybe Rabi Matondo. Matondo is fantastic, a 17-year-old flying winger with bags of skill. He's a brilliant little player. Lati Bodier, fantastic player, obviously captain England under-17s to the World Cup final. He's great. Then maybe someone like Tommy Doyle, who's very young still, but he's obviously only 16 years old. Only an under-16, but he's already playing for the under-18s. He's got 2 years off maybe till the first team level, but he's fantastic. Like a Gerrard-esque kind of player, powerful, intelligent, box-to-box midfielder. And only has he got that kind of passion and drive of Gerrard, but he's got this calmness that comes from playing almost very Spanish kind of technical style. But yeah, there's a whole host of players very good. But I think most of the ones, the most promising ones, probably have already played for the first team, like Brahim and Foden and Nemanja and so on. But I'd love to see maybe Matt Smith get his debut one day. Maybe Davenport after he's back on loan. People like him. I love those kind of players that will put a shift in for the team and also have technical ability. Maybe D'Amico Dehaney as a right back. Actually, I've just realised who maybe it actually will be. Aaron Mooric, the goalkeeper. He's fantastic. He's so good. He's been training with the first team most of the season, but he's almost like a young, very young, very raw obviously, but very young, kind of like newer with style. I love Aaron Mooric. He's a very exciting keeper. I don't know if he'll obviously get in the team given how good Ederson is, but he's fantastic and he would definitely be up there for me. And conveniently, Paul Edgerton's just said it looks as if Claudio Bravo will leave at the end of the season, in his opinion. But if he can't, he can't think of anyone else to replace him. Any suggestions? Well, we could look very close to home, Paul. Given the fact that I've just mentioned Muric, he'd be more than suitable for a number 2 position. The Maida side is a bit young, given the fact he's not played a single game of professional football yet. But I would have Angus Gunn back in a heartbeat. He's done very well on loan at Norwich. He's an excellent keeper. And though he might want first team football, I think for one season, for him playing second fiddle to Ederson, maybe getting 10, 15 games would be enough for him. Maybe getting a couple of medals, hopefully if we win a couple of competitions. Angus is an excellent keeper, fully versed in how we play football, and he fully deserves to be part of our squad, in my personal opinion. So I would choose Angus Gunn or Aaron Morich personally. Other than that, I don't really know. I'm not going to lie. It'll be some old-timer, someone like Valdez who will do a job maybe. I don't know, but let me know in the comments who your suggestion would be. I think Bravo might just stay there, by the way. True City fan said, would Pablo Maffeo and Angelino be suitable to come back? Pablo Maffeo, definitely for me. I don't know if there's space in the squad for him given Danilo's there, but I would have him back in a heartbeat. I think he's absolutely excellent. One of the best young fullbacks in world football. He's that good. I've said a long, long time ago on my Twitter, I'm talking like 2015, that Maffeo will one day play for Spain, and I still stand by that. And it's looking even more likely every single day. Maffeo is fantastic, absolutely brilliant. I would have him 100% in the squad next season because he deserves it as a backup to Walker. Danilo, if he's not there, it'd be even more ideal. Angelino, he wouldn't have done it any worse than Zinchenko. He's a better natural fullback than Zinchenko. Maybe he's very poor defensively still, but he is so good going forward. He's been fantastic over in the Eredivisie, and I'm almost certain, even if it's not a City, he's going to reach a level where he's playing Champions League football for someone. It might be like a mid-level kind of Champions League club, you know, the likes of your Portos or your Schalkes or someone like that, you know, a big German, a kind of middling German team, not the biggest one, maybe, you know, like a Dortmund, maybe eventually. But Angelino's fantastic football, he's doing very well. He's got his mojo back over in Holland, and it'd be great to see him in Manchester City. I wouldn't be against it. I mean, he's a very intelligent footballer. Do you think it'll happen? Probably not. I think it'll be Mendy and Delph as our fullbacks next season. I think Delph will be seen as a left back these days, and that's probably fair enough given how good he is there. I would love to see both though in first team action in pre-season. Get him over to America and get him game time to see how they actually get on under Guardiola. Now they're a bit older, a bit more mature. KP Santana said, Steve, who do you think will sign next season? Then he listed his personal signings as preferences. I've made a video on that, as I said previously. Go and watch my dream summer signings at 11. I probably made that after you made that comment, to be fair to you, but go and watch that. Ujwal Rayner said, Mahrez or Patrick Roberts for next season? It'll probably be neither. Roberts has kind of stalled a lot this season, mainly due to injury, but he's done very little at Celtic. Given the fact that City didn't want him to go back to Celtic in the first place and eventually just agreed to let that happen, I think City wanted to test him in the Premier League or maybe abroad somewhere. I can't see him coming back to City. I think his career is more or less over now at City. If I'm being totally honest, I can't see City kind of trusting him in the long term. I think they may well sell him for a little bit of money, which is a shame given how talented he is. Mahrez is obviously a much better player as well, but I can't see us going back in for Mahrez either, weirdly. I think it'll be someone younger, maybe a striker instead of a winger. Who knows? But Mahrez, I would have him in a heartbeat. I'd never really thought about him at all at City until we were linked to him in the January transfer window, and suddenly it seemed very exciting. But I don't think it'll be either. I don't know who it'll be. I hope for someone like Leon Bailey, but I don't think it'll be either personally. The real David Bowery again saying how much is left in Vinny. One season as fourth choice centre back in my personal opinion. He said himself that he can't play more than once a week at the moment. His body's starting to give up slowly, and we've got kind of like a Ledley King kind of scenario where we have to pick and choose which game he plays. I would have him at City next season, just given how good he is as a leader, given how inspirational he is around the ground, and given how much he can teach the young lads that we've got on our team. But I think a fourth choice centre back for him is almost guaranteed. I mean, he might want to leave, but I think City will just keep holding him for a season, and that makes sense to me. The real Ryan Bolt said, will you travel to Champions League away games? I just simply can't afford it, Ryan. I wish I could, but I don't have the money to put into travelling away. I also can't get the time off work mostly, so no, unfortunately I won't. I would love to, but it's just very expensive. I've got a lot going on, so sadly not. I do envy all those people who can afford to get over there regularly though. Good on you, and the sport always is excellent away, but fingers crossed one day I'll be able to do it more regularly. Magnus Wenger said, I think Sergio Aguero is underrated. Do you agree? I agree entirely. With Aguero, people give him a lot of criticism because he isn't 100% perfect. Who is 100% perfect? You know, Aguero is guaranteed goals. He's fantastic. Sometimes he goes in and out of form, but the moment when you get him like he is, he's just fantastic. He's phenomenal. He's a real, true goal scorer. Sometimes it's better the devil, you know. You know what I mean? We can't always presume that someone else is better. I think saw someone online say recently that we tend to favour other team strikers because we don't watch every 90 minutes they play, so we don't see all the chances that they miss, and therefore we presume that they're more clinical because we see them taking chances on match today or whatever, or in little roundup videos of their highlights. But we forget that most strikers miss a lot of chances too. Even like Kane misses a lot of chances, Lewandowski does, all these players miss chances, Cavani does, Aguero does. It's natural, but we just tend to see the ones that Aguero does, and then we kind of add more weight to them because we watch him every week. I don't think necessarily most players are ridiculously more clinical than Aguero. It's just not true. Aguero is up there for for a reason. He's one of the best strikers in the world. And though he may not be perfect, it's very hard to replace that guaranteed 30 plus goals a season that he brings. It's almost impossibly hard. It's a risk. So I think Aguero is underappreciated a little bit at times. I can understand why some people get frustrated with him, but we've got very short attention spans as football fans. Sometimes we forget too easily how good a player he can actually be. And Aguero at the moment is definitely making a few people eat humble pie. He was a bit poor about a month ago, but at the moment he's on fire, and I wouldn't swap him for anyone in the league at this second, as a striker that is. Some people would take Kane, but I don't want Kane. I want Aguero at the moment, because Aguero is ours, and it means something more to me when he scores, more than it would Kane, for example. But yeah, he's definitely underrated. And Luke Dunford said, do you think Bernardo Silva is going to be a flop for us, or that we'll end up selling him in a year or two? I don't know. I think he'll be okay personally, but the way I see it is I'm happy that we're working out if he's going to be a flop here as opposed to somewhere else. I would always rather sign a player that good for a price that's pretty good in today's market, 40 odd million, given the fact most players of his quality are around 80 million. I'm glad he's here at City so we can find that out, because he's only young still. We don't know how good he's going to be, but I'm glad that he's working this out at Manchester City and not at someone like Real Madrid, because he could be absolutely class, and I would be gutted if we hadn't signed him then. If he doesn't work out great, fair be it. We sell him off to someone for 25, 30, 40 million, maybe even still. We won't lose money on him much. And then we replace him with someone else. But I'm just glad he's not somewhere else in the first place, so we don't lose out on this potentially incredible player for a minor fee, you know. I'm just glad that we're kind of making an experiment here at Manchester City. In general, when you got a player on the edge, even like Gabriel Jesus, for example, I'd always rather we get them than worry about how good they're going to be afterwards, because the worst that can happen is they underwhelm a little bit and we haven't paid that much money. And Bernardo Silva, for me, is a quality player. I think he's getting better every single game. Obviously, that question was asked even before the Champions League game midweek as well, and I think he was pretty good that game too. So I think we're slowly seeing the signs of how good he could actually be at City. And this is the last question, and it's from Dustin Likens, and it's quite an apt one actually, when he said, what does the future of this channel look like? I don't really know, guys. If I'm being honest, I'm just taking it one step at a time. It's hard to put too much resources into it personally, given the fact that I'm only doing it obviously in my evenings, fitting it around life, but hopefully one day it'll be full-time. That's what I really want, and when it's full-time, I'll put a lot more effort into making videos, a lot more effort into guests, a lot more effort into production. Hopefully when I move as well with Nicola, which I'm planning to do soon, I've got a bit of space for like a proper studio vibe almost, and it'll be a lot more interactive. This channel I want to grow, obviously I want it to. It's obviously always going to be quite a personal channel, because it's just my opinions. I don't think it'll ever be a fully fledged fan channel, because that's not what I'm really about. I like it being fully creative under my control, but I don't know. It's whatever you guys want it to be, I guess, in the end, as long as it doesn't involve fan cams, because they're not for me, if I'm being totally honest. But one day I would love to do like live streams, have the technology to do that and all that kind of stuff, but fingers crossed it'll keep growing from strength to strength. And I want to thank you guys as well for keeping this channel going. Seriously, honestly, like all the likes and the views, every day I'm checking them to see how it goes up, and it's just really nice. And what always strikes me is how lovely you are in the comments. It really is really heartwarmingly, overwhelmingly nice. Nicola and I are always commenting how sweet you lot are, so thank you. It does get noticed. I do notice it. Nicola notices it too. It's nice not to see a bunch of people arguing like pricks in the comments. They're all actually pretty sound. So thank you for being in. Even the fans of the other teams that watch this, I think you're just genuinely decent people. So yeah, I like my little community I've got going around here. You're all class, so thank you very much. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Sorry if I missed your question. There's just so many to get through. As ever, it's really hard because it's just hundreds and loads of repeated ones as well. So even though I might not have answered yours directly, I've hopefully answered it in some kind of way. Guys, enjoy the Wigan game tomorrow. I'm going to try and get a ticket, but I might not be able to. If not, I'll do a match reaction straight away after the game. See you later, guys. Hello guys, it's Stephen here. Thanks for watching the Q&A. Hope you enjoyed part 1 as well. Go and check that out if you haven't already. It'll be floating on screen. Go and check out the video 2 I made where it's my dream summer signings and the best 11 for next season and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty fun. But anyway guys, if you want to get involved in my Patreon, patreon.com/Esteemed Kompany. There's loads of things that you can get involved in terms of pledges and donations and all that kind of stuff. And you can get your name scrolling down the screen too. But if not, as ever, just keep watching these videos, keep supporting the channel, and it'll mean absolutely loads to me.